Hey guys, this is Substitute Topher. Today you join me in Ojai, California with an exclusive first look at the brand new 5th generation 2027 Toyota Highlander. This has been completely reimagined for its 5th generation for the 2027 model year. It is now a full BEV, Toyota's 4th electric vehicle being added to their lineup. And today, we're going to walk you around it and show you what this thing is all about. We can't drive it today. That'll come probably later this year. But I figured we would show you what this looks like inside and out and talk some specs. This one we're in today is the limited all-wheel drive. It has 2 electric motors, a 95.8 kilowatt-hour battery. It makes 338 horsepower and 323 pound-feet of torque. And the best thing here is it gets over 300 miles of range. The first Toyota EV out of the 4 right now that does that. So we have 320 miles of range. But the cool thing about this is they're offering it in many different configurations. So like I said, this is the limited all-wheel drive, but there's also a lower trim, the XLE. There's going to be 2 trims total, but with the XLE, you get some choices. You can have a front-wheel drive model with a 77 kilowatt-hour battery. You can have an all-wheel drive model with a 77 kilowatt-hour battery, or you can have the same setup that we have in this Limited, which is your only choice with the top trim. The front-wheel drive XLE gets 221 horsepower and 198 pound-feet of torque, and of course, range is slightly down with that smaller battery to 270 miles. So a little bit more similar to what you'd see on a BZ Woodland, or the new CHR that we've also been driving this week, so stay tuned for that. But why don't we walk you around this and show you what it looks like inside and out. The first thing you notice is you have these little buttons to get out, kind of like a Lexus NX or RX. And this particular car is finished in Spellbound with the black top, the 2-tone configuration. And pretty consistent design cues. We've got the hammerhead front end. Here's our charge port. This has the NACS port just like any other new Toyota EV, and this can charge from 10 to 80% in about 30 minutes. We'll do a full walk around of this and then we'll start poking around. We'll look in the back and in the back seats. But a pretty big fan of this overall, quite similar to new RAV4, Toyota Crown Signia. Anyway, all right, let's check out the back and see what cargo room is like. This is, of course, a 3-row. It's the biggest EV that Toyota currently has, and the first 3-row as well. Even though the BZ Woodland does look quite large, that is just a 2-row. So nice to see this 3rd row here now. Got some extra storage behind this, and in just about every dimension, this is larger than the current 4th generation Highlander. We've got a little bit less cargo room in the back with this 3rd row folded down. With it folded up, it's about the same, but we've got a couple cubic feet less, though room does seem to still be adequate here. You can see we've got these cup holders, and we're actually going to pull this back up because I want to sit back here in this 3rd row and see what this is all about. But as far as exterior goes, it's longer and wider than the outgoing Highlander, but it is a little bit shorter. It's about 1 inch shorter at the top. You can see we have these electronic door handles on the outside. I love this light colored interior. Little button there on the side to help us get into the 3rd row. So we'll get back here and see what room is like. This is probably in a bit more of a realistic position, but you know, the Highlander's never been something as large as like a Yukon or a Grand Wagoneer, so room is a little bit limited back here. Think about maybe a space for somebody smaller, but we have these cup holders here in the 3rd row. We've got USB-C ports, and if you're able to stagger this, it's a little bit nicer. Of course, I'm 5'11", sat behind both of these seating positions. Looks like you have to hold that button, or you can use this manual release there on the back of the seat. And then you have this little lever on the side of the seat to slide it back and forth. Let's check out our 2nd row. Obviously, it's quiet in this studio right now because There's just a bunch of people from Toyota up there being quiet for my video. But it does seem remarkably quiet in this cabin as well. We have these sunshades here in the second row. That's nice. Those hook in a very convenient way. We have this very unique ambient lighting that runs through the door panels as well. And then you've got these little gold bits here, which I don't know that those really do anything other than add design element. But you can see we have these same sort of door handles in the second row, of course, but I like the use of materials in this. And I meant to mention when I was up front, I love that we get a two-tone steering wheel. This is something we haven't seen Toyota experiment with a ton, as of lately anyway. So I'd like to see that in the overall mix of colors elsewhere as well. So you can see you've got the black and white two-tone thing going on, but even like the way that they've done these perforations here in the second row is pretty neat. Up on the headliner, we have a massive panoramic roof, which doesn't look like it opens, but I imagine there will either be a shade or this is a hydrochromatic type deal, but I'm not too sure. I don't have information on that quite yet. So second row is massive in this thing. As I mentioned, it is quite a bit longer than the outgoing Highlander, so I've got plenty of room behind myself at 5'11" in my seating position here. Headroom is good, and we have heated rear seats. We've got our own climate control panel, and then otherwise we have some cup holders right here in the middle. It looks like you could probably do 4 cups if you really wanted to, because you've got this additional little spot for storage behind these 2 cup holders in the front. Now this one, like I said, is all-wheel drive, but it's an EV, so you don't have a massive drivetrain hump. This one has the captain's chairs, but you can get this with a bench seat in the lower trim XLE. But this Limited is seeming to be quite nice. We don't have pricing yet, so I can't give you that metric, but I can at least show you just about every square inch of this car, and you can make an educated guess for it yourself. See if we can pop the hood. There you go, no frunk. And we'll jump back up front and we'll show you some more of what this looks like. Door panels are consistent. You can see even down to this bit. Okay, so that answers my question there. So they've continued this design language. In the front, it's for your memory seats. In the back, it's just to be consistent. How about that? Love to see it. Nice ka-thunk from the doors. And man, this must have a heated steering wheel. It does. That is super warm. You've got the auto function for that. And you do for the seats as well. These are heated and ventilated. And this has the optional JBL sound system. This is optional on the XLE and the Limited, so you do have to pay extra for this. It's an 11-speaker system, and would love to do a test for you. We'll do that once we get this new 2027 Highlander back home. That'll probably be next year. But infotainment actually looks a little bit different as well. This just seems to be a new version of what we already know. Seems to work pretty quickly. And again, this is a very early prototype vehicle, so that would explain why all of the warning lights and things are on. Also, I'm just in ignition on. Gauge cluster seems to work pretty similarly to what we already have, but it has been reskinned and has more options for your configuration. So we've seen, we're able to cycle through different modes on current Toyotas, but this also has, I can get all these warning messages to stop. This also has this single central gauge pod, which I think looks nice. You can see there. We'll be able to get a better idea for this once we can actually drive the car and cycle through it. But it's kind of the same story over here with the infotainment. I mean, it kind of appears pretty similar, but we can scroll through, and this looks completely different. You can see supports Apple CarPlay, all this stuff. And then you can go through, oh, look at this. There are actually more drive modes, so the physical button didn't show us everything. Normal, Eco, Sport, Stow, Range, and Custom. Can I set a custom drive mode? Okay, so just powertrain, steering, and air conditioning we can go to here. You can set those. Cool. And I think most important of all, still have a volume knob. Let's talk about this middle bit here. So you saw the power button is right here, and then we have this little like Porsche Braun shaver style shifter, and then you've got your P button there in the middle of this whole panel. And I'm wondering if these are wireless chargers. I assume they are, but they've got like this Alcantara material on them. So I actually have my phone. I don't know if these are going to work or not, if they even are wireless chargers, because there aren't even any things to tell you that they are. That tells me maybe it is, because it's making... It is! Okay, cool. It is a wireless charger. Glad we could confirm that. And then under this floating console here, we have some extra storage. I don't know if maybe in production this will be... have like a little mat right there to make so things don't slide around. These cup holders here, you're able to extend them with these little guys. And then this has a glove box, which is nice because none of the other Toyota EVs have glove boxes. So there you go. Vent placement here below the screen. And then we have this little button panel here. We've got drive modes. And then you also have multi-terrain select and crawl control. That is cool to see in here too. So I would expect probably a Highlander Woodland sort of situation, but even seeing this here on the Limited is pretty cool as well with these massive wheels, which we'll take another look at. We'll jump out and see. But looks like, okay, camera view is unavailable. That's okay. Some of the stuff we're just going to have to wait to see on the final production model. But overall, it seems to be quite nice, and appreciate the fact that it can go over 300 miles. Actually, I wonder if we can mess with the ambient lighting in this. Lights, interior, color. There we go. Okay. Oh, we've got, okay, interesting. We have new names for these colors. Chill. Oh, so these cycle through colors kind of like a Mercedes. This is harmonious. A little bit harder to see, of course, because there's lights everywhere. Upbeat. Purple. Oh my gosh, look at those. Look at those. Yes. Oh man, that's really cool. Downbeat. This one will probably be much more chill. Indeed. Breathing. That doesn't seem to do anything. Dreamy. That also doesn't do anything. They might not have those programmed yet. But then you have all of these fixed colors as well. White, beige, yellow, orange, red, magenta, pink, purple, violet, blue, light blue, turquoise, green, light green, and custom. I always love a good violet color. That looks quite nice in here as well. Doesn't look like we have a ton. I guess you've got a little strip below the infotainment screen. You've got a couple strips on either side of your wireless charger, and then the door panels are kind of the main stars of the show here just because they have these lines that go through them, and also it glows up from the armrest. So pretty nice. You can see you've got some vents in the headliner. You've got map lights there. Handles for everybody. That's nice, getting in and out. Sliding visors. Always like to see that too. Place to put your sunglasses, all the stuff. Camera, rear view mirror. I selected this backdrop today and I have like 20 different choices, so I chose the one that makes the car look like it's in motion. But all right, let's shut this off. I don't really think we have anything else to see here. There are some EV modes as well. You can precondition the battery before you're going to level 3 charge it, so you can get to your 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. But let's power this off. And we'll give you one last look at the outside, and then you guys will all be able to look forward to when we actually drive this. The steering will look similar to the one in the new RAV4, so I imagine it works the same. Physical volume adjuster and physical buttons all around for your driver aids and cruise control and all that stuff. The TOPher will appreciate that I'm mentioning this. It's got a physical dimmer switch there by your left knee. Check that out. Very cool to see. And I can't believe I've gone this whole video without mentioning the TOPher's wife actually drives a Highlander, so this might be a cool choice when it's time to replace hers. We've got these paddles here for regen, just like you'd see on any other Toyota BEV. All right, we're actually getting a full chance to show you this lower trim XLE model. Now, keep in mind, this is an XLE that's quite loaded. This has the 95.8 kilowatt hour battery. It's got the 338 horsepower. But I still wanted to show you some of the small differences. We have a smaller wheel on this car. We have a bench seat. So we'll quickly walk around this just to supplement our existing walk around of the Limited. But let's go ahead and power this on. Immediately you can see that this one doesn't have the two-tone steering wheel, but it does have this stitching in the middle here, so maybe potential for a two-tone wheel. What I like is that this still has all of the ambient lighting that we saw in the Limited, but let's jump out on the outside and show you what that looks like. Simpler spec on this car, white, solid color, no two-tone, and we have a smaller wheel and a different tire. This is a Toyo Open Country in a 255/60R19, so quite a bit more sidewall on this. And think of this as the one that you're going to be seeing. You know, this is kind of the one that'll be on dealer lots. Again, we don't have pricing quite yet, but this will be on the upper end of the XLE. Remember, you can have this front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, 2 different battery sizes. I suspect in the back, everything here will be the same as the car we just looked at. Yep, all the same stuff. We won't even bother jumping into the third row because that'll be the same, but I do want to show you the second row bench seat as opposed to the captain's chairs. See, we still have that ambient lighting, though no rear window shades. We'll leave this door open because it's a little bit dark in here. You can see these seats do slide back and forth, and sat here behind myself with the seat all the way back here at 5'11". I've got plenty of room. I mean, room here seems to be pretty much the same, and we still have this climate control panel, though no heated rear seats in this XLE model. But we still have these little USB-C guys on the back of the front seats, and we still have this big pano roof on the top as well. I haven't seen a base front-wheel drive XLE yet, so I can't speak to that, but this feels pretty nice. I would say the only thing that doesn't feel quite as nice is we don't have all of the dimension from the different colors. So we don't have the white on the steering wheel and the seats and all that stuff. And then this is a soft tech seat as opposed to leather as well. So the perforation pattern is a little bit different here on this XLE. Give you guys one last look here. Also, just quickly want to show you guys what this looks like with the lights turned on. This is what you primarily saw in the teasers that Toyota's been putting out for the last week or so. But we've got our tail light there. You can see those 2 strips, and this actually comes around like to the side of the car. Kind of a cool design element. And then you'll see the DRL on the front here as well. And then our headlights sit a little bit lower down. And then one more thing on the outside I wanted to show. This is the most obvious use of a physical door handle as a backup for if the car dies. Obviously, we have these electronic ones working right now, but you can use these manual pulls if the car is dead. So that's a pretty cool integration. And then on the driver's door, we've got a little keyhole as well, so you'll be able to get into this in case of an emergency. You can see that here. This little panel pops off. And also, this is going to be built in the US, in Kentucky, and the battery modules are going to be built here in the US as well. So some pretty good US parts content and final assembly. I got one last thing to say about this, which I don't know if people are going to agree with me or not. But as far as the design goes, of course, you see some Highlander in this. But you also see, I think this kind of looks like the new Jeep Wagoneer S. I get that. I think maybe it's the door handles and kind of like the silhouette from the side, but you can see this blue one here in front of me. You get some BZ, you get some new RAV4, you get some Highlander, and I think you also get some Jeep Wagoneer S, which is like a little bit of a wild card. But overall, I'm a fan of the design of this. Anyway, though, that was just a brief look here at the XLE. Let's jump back into the Limited, and we'll wrap this one up. So let's jump out, give you one last look at it, and that'll be it. Let's check tires just real quick. Bridgestone Alenza in a 255/45 R22, and that is a squared setup. But all right, cool guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you all so much for watching. Let us know if you have any questions, but that's been the new 5th Gen 2027 Toyota Highlander. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.